guys, so in today's trick, I just need this normal deck of cards, and what's gonna happen is I'm actually going to be reading the spectator's mind, or at least I'm gonna be trying to read your mind. But yeah, you guys can see here, all the cards just like this, and what's gonna happen is I'm gonna read your mind, so first I need you to go ahead and think of any card in a deck of cards. So once you have a card in your head, go ahead and just lock that in your head. And what I want you to do is I'm actually gonna hand the deck of cards over to you. Go ahead, just spread through the cards yourself and pull out the card that you are thinking of, so that now you have not only a mental sort of thought of that card, but now you have a physical connection with that card, a physical card that you can actually see and feel. And what this will do is it will just help create a strong visual image in your head, and thus will help facilitate me to try to read your mind, okay? So like I said, completely thought of card. So the spectator has a completely free choice to think of any card they wish. Let's just go ahead and pretend they're thinking of this card over here. So let's go ahead, take a look at this card, and I'm looking away so I can't see, all right? And once they're done doing that, I tell them, just go ahead, you can place the card back anywhere you like, and we'll just go ahead and give it a quick little shuffle, all right? So right off the bat, I'm just gonna try and guess the color of your card. Think of it. It wasn't a red card, was it? Oh, it was. Okay, great. That actually helps out a lot, quite a bit. But still not quite enough. So what I'm gonna try and do is, because I'm still not quite sure, I'm just gonna go behind my back and I'm gonna go ahead and just lock in one final answer. Okay, I think that's it. So that's it. I'm not going to touch the deck for the rest of the trick, and for the first time, the spectator can go ahead and name the card that they thought of out loud. Behind my back, what I did was I took one card, I turned it over, and I placed it in the middle of the deck. Go ahead, spectator, take the deck and spread through the cards yourself, so you can go ahead and see that your card is the only card face up in the pack. And that right there is the trick, guys. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to stick around for the tutorial. All right guys, so here's the tutorial for the trick that you just saw. So yeah, this trick is really as fair as it looks. So you have a deck of cards, the spectator can really think of any card that they wish. They put it back anywhere they want in the deck, and instantly you're able to locate the card and you can control it wherever you like, and then you can do whatever you like at that point. And it's actually really easy. So all it uses is a little bit of a setup, and this is the setup. So you have a deck that looks like this. Looks pretty shuffled at a first glance, but if you look a little bit more closely, you'll notice that the cards are actually going in red, black, red, black, red, black, red, black order all the way through the deck. It takes about 30 seconds to do this. It really doesn't take a lot of time. Once you're in this position, you're capable of performing some really insane miracles with this stack. So once the cards are in this order, you can actually have the spectator cut the cards as many times as they wish, because cutting the cards is actually not going to disturb the red, black sequence. It's just gonna move the cards around a little bit. And then you can take the cards back and you can do some false shuffles. The one I did in the performance looked like this, where it sort of looks like I'm mixing the cards around, but I'm actually not really doing anything at all. And then I finished it with a cut, and it just looks super deceptive. By far one of my favorite false shuffles that I've learned recently. And then what you can do is you can actually spread out the cards, and you can show the spectator the cards like this, and they're not going to notice that the cards are in red, black order, because no spectator would recognize this special magician order of a deck of cards. So no one's going to notice anything if you show them pretty quickly. But once you do that, you're just going to square up the cards and have the spectator think of any card in the deck. So they can truly think of any card. And what they're gonna do is they're gonna go ahead, pull it out of the deck like this, and then they're gonna place it back anywhere they want to in the deck. So in this case, let's go ahead and take a look at what this card is. So later, when we place it back in the deck, you'll be able to see the secret of how this works. So in this case, we have the 10 of clubs, so they can go ahead and place the card back anywhere they like in the deck. And now they can go ahead and cut the cards as many times as you like, and you can also give the cards an overhand shuffle, but in reality, you're just going to be doing single shuffles like this. So you're not gonna be doing multiple shuffles, you're just gonna do one throw on top. And this is the same thing as cutting the deck. You're just holding it in this position so it looks like you're giving the cards a shuffle, but In reality, you're just cutting the cards. So once the card has been lost in the middle of the deck, this is really how the trick works. So since the cards are alternating red, black, red, black, red, black, when they remove a card out of the sequence and they place it in a different part of the deck, it's actually going to disturb the red, black sequence. So right now, if I go through the cards, what's going to happen is all the cards are still going to be alternating red, black, but there's going to be two special pairs of cards. There's going to be two red cards now next to each other and two black cards now next to each other. So if I go through the cards right now, you'll see the cards are still alternating red, black, red, black, red, black. There should be right here two black cards next to each other. And you'll notice that in this case, these two black cards, one of them right here, the 10 of clubs, is actually the spectator's card. And this will happen every single time. Oh, and the other pair of cards I actually missed, but it was over here earlier in the deck. So here are the two red cards that are next to each other. So we have two red cards next to each other, and we also have two black cards next to each other. Really, no matter what the spectator's card is, no matter where they place it, it's always going to end up inside of this little pair here. If their card was red and they placed it back anywhere, their card would be one of these cards. But in this case, since their card is black, their card is automatically one of these two black cards that are next to each other. So yeah, once you understand this secret of the two pairs of red cards and black cards, you'll now understand how this trick works. So I'm just gonna reset the deck here, and I'm just gonna go through the effect one more time because I will explain how to actually find out which one is their card. So let's go back to the beginning. All the cards are back in red, black order. The cards can be cut, and the spectator thinks of any card. So they're gonna go ahead, pull out a card here, and they're gonna take a look at it, and we won't know what it is, but in this case, it's going to be the ace of clubs. They're just gonna place it back literally anywhere into the deck, and they can go ahead and cut the cards as many times as they like. So this is how you're going to find out if the spectator's card is either in the red pair or the black pair. All you have to do is just do what's called some fishing. You're going to be asking a question that seems like it has a definitive answer, but it's sort of like an open-ended question. This is what fishing is. So you're going to be first guessing the color of the spectator's card, and all you're gonna do is you can use whichever color you like. You can just go with your gut feeling, because it doesn't really matter if you get it right or wrong. Either way, whatever the spectator tells you, you're instantly going to find out what color their card is. So you can ask them, your card wasn't a red card, was it? In this case, it was a black card. So they're going to say no, and you're going to say, oh, okay, well then we'll try something else. So boom, right away, I know their card is a black card. So that's just one way of doing it. It's very easy and it flies by the spectators. They're not gonna assume that you're trying to guess the color of the card if you just instantly move away from it afterwards. So if you get it wrong, just say, okay, never mind, we'll go ahead and we'll actually try something else. So now that I know their card is a black card, all I'm gonna do is go through the cards and find the pair of black cards next to each other. In this case, right over here, we now actually have the two aces here. This isn't really the best example, but once I have these cards, what I'm gonna do is cut these cards over to the top, and I just have to remember which one is on top and which one is on the bottom. So in this case, it's really hard to see with these cards, but in this case, we have the ace of clubs on top and the ace of spades underneath. So I just have to remember the ace of clubs is on top. Once I've cut these cards to the top secretly, I'm gonna go behind my back and make a little bit of a prediction. And now what you're gonna be doing is called multiple outs. So this is what you're gonna do behind your back. You're just gonna take the top card, the ace of clubs, you're gonna turn it over, riffle down into the center, and just place that somewhere in the middle of the deck. And now you're set for two outs. So you bring out the deck and you say, okay, I've made a prediction behind my back. And now you ask the spectator to tell you what their card was. And depending on what card they say, the card is either going to be the only card turned over, or it's going to be the top card that you've placed onto the deck. So in this case, they're gonna tell you that the card was the ace of clubs. So all you have to do is remember which card you placed in the middle, which was going to be the top card, which you remembered was the ace of clubs. So now you know that you have to do this out, where you spread out the cards. But if they tell you ace of spades, then all you would do is take the top card and turn it over. I honestly think either out is just as strong as the other. It just seems completely impossible. Like they thought of a card, you shuffled the cards, and now you've either placed their card on the top, which is just impossible, or you've taken their card and turned it over in the middle, which is just also impossible. So either way, it really is a great ending to the trick. So that is one way of performing this trick, is by fishing. You can guess the color of the card and then you can do the multiple outs in the end. But now I'm actually gonna show you another way where you don't have to do that fishing question. So this version of the trick actually uses 4 multiple outs instead of 2 multiple outs, because you're actually not going to be asking that color question. You're just going to leave it up to chance, and you're going to set up for 4 multiple outs. So what you're going to do is have the spectator think of a card. They're going to go through the cards, pull it out. In this case, they're going to be thinking of the 3 of clubs. You tell them, go ahead, place it back anywhere, and you're just going to give the cards some quick cuts to make it look like it's getting shuffled. All you're going to do is go through the cards, pretend like you're getting some information, and what you're going to be doing is you have to actually control both of your pairs. So when you find the black pair, in this case, just whatever pair comes first, take this and just kind of cut it to the bottom. So now you actually have these 2 cards. The black pair is now on the bottom, and you're going to remember what the bottom card is here, the 9 of clubs, okay? You don't really have to remember the other one, just remember the 9 of clubs. And remember, all these cards are to yourself, so the spectator is only going to be seeing this. They're not going to be able to see the faces of the cards. So once you've controlled the black cards, you're going to go through and find the other pair, which is going to be the red pair. So when you find the red pair, you can just take these and just kind of move them to the top casually. Once you do this, you can just start to really mix up the order of the cards. You can actually give the cards a real shuffle at this point. Just maintain those bottom 2 cards and then maintain the top 2 cards on top. So this is a bad example, but I have the bottom 2 cards still there and the top 2 cards are still there as well. Once I do this, I remembered my black card here, and I also remembered my red card up here by doing a little top peek like this if I want, or I can just spread through the cards again. Remember that 5 of hearts. So now I have 2 key cards, 9 of clubs, 5 of hearts, and these are going to be my 4 outs. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go behind my back, and first I'm going to do the same thing as before. I'm going to take the red 5 of hearts, place that in the middle. So now I know the 5 of hearts is in the middle of the deck. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the bottom card here, which is my 9 of clubs, and I'm actually going to slip this card in my back pocket. So this card I'm actually going to remove from the deck, put it inside of my pocket, just put it here for now. But now I'm actually set up for 4 multiple outs when I bring the deck back. All you have to do is remember your 2 key cards, the 5 of hearts and the 9 of clubs. So when you tell the spectator to name their card, I honestly don't even remember what the card was, but that's perfect because that means we can go through each out. So in this case, if they name the 5 of hearts was their card, you're going to say, look, behind my back, I took 1 card and I turned it over in the deck. And that would be the end of the trick. If they say the other red card, in this case, the card that you weren't remembering, look, behind my back, I took 1 card and I placed it on top of the deck, and then boom, that will be their card. So those are the first 2 outs, and now here are the second 2 outs. If they name your key card the black card, which is the 9 of clubs, you tell the spectator, look, behind my back, I actually removed 1 card and I placed it in my pocket. And now this is the best part. You can really come out with empty hands, go into your pocket. You can even have them pull it out of your pocket, and the thought of card will be in your pocket. That would be an insane ending to the trick if they name the 9 of clubs. And then the final ending of the trick is if they name the other black card, that card is actually automatically going to be on the bottom of the deck. Behind your back, you took 1 card and you placed it on the bottom of the deck. And now you can just take the deck, pick it up, and just show the bottom card, the 3 of clubs in this case, and this will be the spectator's thought of card. So yeah, all 4 of those outs are also just as strong as the other, but I think if I had to just choose one, I would say the pocket one is by far the strongest, because when they go home and they remember this trick, they're gonna remember that they had a free choice of any card in their head, and somehow you were able to pull that card out of the deck, and it was the only card in your pocket. That would just be an insane memory for the spectator. But yeah, guys, that is really the end of the trick, and once this trick is over, you can just give the deck a quick shuffle to destroy any of the setup, and now you can continue. Oh, I forgot about this card, but now you can continue to do any card trick you want, and you can fit this into a routine. So yeah, that is the trick, guys. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one of my favorites. I really hope you guys use this one, and yeah, see you guys next time. Bye.